Hi there Pisces, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for October. We can look at your month in a more spiritual, philosophical way, or we can look at it in a more down-to-earth one. Perhaps we need to do both. But in terms of attainment, professional attainment and success, a wonderful link between Mars and two other positions in the first 2 weeks of this month augurs brilliantly for a breakthrough. You see, Mars is in the most confident part of your scope, and it can see you strutting your stuff in a much more self-assured way. It forges a great link with the Sun, so the Sun is in the part of your scope to do with shared resources, business, entrepreneurship. If you're looking to raise finance or to promote a business, this angle will give you tremendous self-confidence. But Jupiter's in the part of your scope to do with jobs. And because that links well with Mars as well, it's possible that you will have an interview or encounter a situation where your neat self-belief and enthusiasm for life and whatever you do can swing the person you come into contact with. So don't hold back from demonstrating all that verve and zest. However, it is true to say that Mercury, the planet of communication, does start to twist backwards on the 4th. And for you, it's in the part of your scope to do with travel, at least initially, through to the 11th. If you are hoping to head off during that period of time, double check arrangements, tune into travel reports. There could be delays, mix-ups, misunderstandings. However, Mercury then reverses into the same part of your scope that is occupied by the Sun and Venus. And this is a very passionate area, and it can give you a desire to connect with someone that you feel strongly you want to be with. This doesn't necessarily have to be in an emotional or romantic way. It could be in a platonic or business sense. But because the Sun is in opposition with the restless spirit of Uranus, followed by Venus in week 2 in opposition with Uranus, something unexpected can happen. Now this could be some kind of alchemy. You could have an argument with someone, but from that some brilliant idea can develop. On the other hand, you could have an amazing connection which draws you compulsively together with someone. An impulse is going to be a big part of the energy moving through what is known as the 8th solar house through to the 22nd, particularly from the 13th when the Sun and Venus go side by side. This is going to give you a very sultry vibe. But more prosaically, it also is going to give you a lot of shrewdness and wisdom, an ability to tease out value and to see where there are opportunities financially that other people miss. But the lunar eclipse which occurs on the 8th of the month suggests that in the following 6 months you do need to prepare to be utterly flexible in your approach, because some ideas can come, some can go. There may be some short-term expenses, there may be an opportunity to recover these, but things won't necessarily be set in stone. You need to be philosophical about that. However, from the 23rd, the Sun punches into your sister water sign of Scorpio, and this is going to be a much lighter period potentially, a period when your desire for travel or change or variety, stimulation is going to be really stirred up. If you're someone who enjoys outdoor pursuits, you're an adventurer, this is going to be a wonderful end to this month. On the other hand, if you're someone more of a cerebral approach to life, just getting your mind thinking to its full abilities at the end of October can really be important too. But the Sun and Venus are going to combine, and some new information is going to develop which could be very significant financially or in terms of a love relationship. There is also a solar eclipse which occurs on the 24th. This solar eclipse works in tandem with the lunar eclipse of earlier in the month. They work on polar pairs. And this is suggesting that if you are wanting to continue to open up your world in a much bolder, daring kind of way, it's not going to be without some toil or limitations. Not everything is going to be exactly as you want. And because you're a mutable sign, a certain amount of flexibility or changeability is part and parcel of your personality. But there are certain goals that you're going to have to show real honourability around and stick to the deal. And that is going to take some hard work. It won't necessarily be easy. But if you can, the prospects are incredibly bright in the next half year. It's been a real Pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.